Hey guys, it's Suzanne with Arvabelle. In this video, we're going to go over some of the things that you need to do in order to get your first apartment. So if you are among the many graduating seniors right now, whether you're getting out of high school or college, or you're just moving out on your own for the first time, congratulations and welcome to the expensive world of being an adult and not knowing what to do. Join us, it's a great time. So I'm also going to put a link in the description box down below where you can go and download a free PDF that just has a checklist of things to look for in your apartment. So you can print it out, take it with you, have it next to you while you're looking online. Whatever you want to do, it's there for you. Basically in this video, I'm just going to walk through how to know if you can afford an apartment, how to actually find the apartment, make sure it's in a safe area, some scams that you need to watch out for because Craigslist is a sketchy place, as well as some things that you can do to protect yourself and your money, like your security deposit, when you move into your apartment. Going into the first thing, you really need to figure out a budget. Gather your bank statements, your credit card statements, whatever you have from the last few months, and really figure out your spending habits. How much are you spending on groceries, on transportation, on clothing? You need to take all of those into account and then add on the price of the apartment. Now, let me tell you, going to look at apartments is a little bit like walking into the dollar store. You go in there thinking that you're getting something for $1, you take it to the cash register and they're like, $5 please. There are always going to be extra fees, extra costs added on to whatever price of the apartment that you see online. So you need to figure out what those extra fees are. Is there an application fee, a fee for pets, multiple roommates? What's the parking situation, the laundry situation? Are utilities included? Is it furnished? Is furniture included? If you're moving into a house instead of an apartment, do you have to pay a homeowners association fee? Do you have to pay a yard fee? Do you need to pay for an alarm or security system? Also, just be prepared to show proof of income because in a lot of higher demand or higher end areas, you're required to make 3 times the monthly rent. It's also a good idea to kind of figure out what you're going to do for furniture. At first, it really doesn't matter. Just get free furniture from family or friends or Craigslist or the thrift store, wherever. Just get cheap furniture. You can update your furniture later on. Whatever you do, don't go into these expensive furniture stores that are offering no money down and only pay $60 a month to get this big fancy thing. They charge insanely high interest rates and they kind of expect you to not be able to pay it back. Then they hike up your interest rate even more and you can't pay that either. So then it just ends up ruining your credit. So the bottom line is just know what you can afford, have a budget, and don't go crazy buying things that you don't need. So now getting into actually finding an apartment online. So I personally like to use apartments.com or apartmentguide.com. But if you are looking to rent a house or more of a condo, townhouse type situation, Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, any of those are gonna have more options for houses. Once you're on one of these websites, just go ahead and enter your budget into the max price. Even go a little bit lower so that you can account for fees and stuff later. Sometimes on these apartment websites, instead of actually listing the price, it'll say call for availability. In some places like New York or Los Angeles, you will actually have to call to get the price. But otherwise, like 9 times out of 10, you can find the price either on one of the other websites or you can Google that specific apartment complex and find it there. And if you can, it's good to find this information beforehand. Even if it's an old price, then when you do call to find out the current price, they know that you know what it was listed at before and they can't rip you off. The most important thing is to read reviews. And especially read the bad reviews. And that's why I like using the websites that are specifically for apartments because they already have reviews built into their system. But in addition to those, go and look at Google reviews and go and look at Facebook reviews because sometimes on some of the sketchy apartments, they'll have 1 5-star review on one website, but then on every other website, they'll have like 1 million 1-star reviews, and that is definitely 100% a red flag. So if you don't go that route and you instead choose to look on Craigslist or Facebook, you need to be aware of all these scams that are out there because there are quite a few. So usually how these will go down is you'll see a really cheap apartment or an apartment that just looks like a good deal, you'll contact the person, they'll reply, and they'll give you some excuse as to why you can't see the apartment. They'll either be like, oh, sorry, I'm out of town, I'll be back in like 2 weeks or something, but like send the deposit now. Or they'll be like, there are so many people looking at this apartment that you need to put down a deposit right now so that we know that you're serious about it. Basically, just never give anyone money before you go and actually see the apartment in person. In some cases, you may feel like you don't have time to go look for an apartment. Like if you just got a job and you have to be across the country in 3 days, I would go one of two routes. First, which I personally think is a better option, just get a hotel for a few days or a week, however long you need to, until you can go and physically find a place. Because I would rather spend $500 at a hotel than give $500 to a random person on Craigslist. If you absolutely cannot go look, and maybe you're moving into a roommate situation that you found on Facebook or you are renting from someone on Craigslist, there is something that you can do to try to make sure that it's more legitimate. Ask whoever made the listing to either FaceTime you or Skype you, and make sure that you're seeing their face talking to you as they walk around the apartment. Don't let them send you pictures, don't let them send you videos. It's so easy to pull a picture off the internet or put a voiceover over a video. Just try to check and make sure that they are legit people. Bottom line is, you really should go look at it in person. There's such an easy way to check if the apartments that you're looking at are in safe areas. So if you Google truly a crime map and the city that you're moving to, you can pull up this map that shows all the plotted points of where crimes have occurred, and it gives you this nice little color gradient, as you can see, and the darker blue areas are just where more crimes occur. So that's a good way to see if the apartment that you found for a great price is in a great area. Also, just when you go to tour the apartment complex, ask people who are walking around if they like it, especially if you're a young woman. If you see other women walking around, ask if they feel safe. If there's no one walking around, go and knock on people's doors. They'll either tell you that they love it, they hate it, or you'll find out that they're just straight up crazy. Also, if you can, just go back and drive through the area at night, because it may look fine during the day, but you may not really want to be out and about at night. Probably the most stressful part of finding an apartment is dealing with the lease. So first you want to find out what kind of lease it is, especially if you're moving to a college town, because sometimes they'll make it to where you're responsible for only paying your room's lease to the landlord, and sometimes they'll want all of the roommates to collectively gather their money and one person will just pay it to the landlord. You need to find out how long your lease is. Is it 6 months, 12 months, 18 months? And you also need to ask how to properly break your lease. Because in the event that, I don't know, you lose your job or you have to move out for whatever reason, you need to know the terms of ending your lease early so that that doesn't follow you on your rental history and ruin your credit. So you also need to just keep track of basic things like, when is your rent due? Is there a grace period where you can pay rent late? And if so, is there a fee for that? Is it rent controlled? Are you locked into the price that you sign your lease for? Or can they raise the price? And if they do raise it, how often do they usually do that? And by how much are they raising it? So if it is your first apartment, you'll probably need a co-signer, and all that is usually a parent or an older sibling, someone that already has a credit history established and maybe a rental history. It basically means that if you are unable to pay your rent, they will be responsible for paying it. So if you don't have a co-signer, you will need to have good credit. That's a whole other topic, but if you want to see a video on maybe how to establish credit, fix bad credit, I can make a video on that, so just leave a comment down below. Just ask the leasing office any questions that you have. Like, if you get locked out of your apartment, do they have a number that you can call? Or if the dishwasher breaks, or I don't know, a window breaks, do they have on-site maintenance workers that will come out and fix it for you? Do they have a list of contractors that you can call? Or are you responsible for finding that? And finally, keep in your money, honey, because they want your security deposit real bad. When you go to sign your lease, before you sign, ask to tour your unit, not a similar unit, the unit that you will be living in. The reason for this is because apartments love to pull this little trick where they'll show you the newest, most updated apartment, have you sign for a similar unit, and then it won't be like the apartment that you looked at all. Really, the only reason that they wouldn't be able to show you the apartment is if there's someone currently occupying it. And if that's the case, ask them to include a page in the contract that they sign and that you sign that has the floor plan and any finishes that you're expecting in the apartment or whatever else. Always, 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 always get a copy of your contract and leasing agreement. So this is just kind of a precaution to take, but if you're subleasing from someone or you're moving in with roommates, ask them to see their original contracts, because in some cases, someone may have signed their original lease for $1,000 and be trying to rent it to you for like $1,400 or something like that. So it's just better to see it and know that up front, decide if you're okay with that, and then just go from there. Just don't let people take advantage of you. When you lease an apartment, you will have to put down a security deposit. That's basically just some amount of money that they decide on. They will keep that money if there are damages that you cause. Now, they will also keep that money sometimes if you can't prove that you didn't cause the damages. So the best way to protect yourself against this is to record a video of your apartment. Do like a little apartment tour before you move anything in. Take pictures, record everything, say the date in the video, and that way, when you move out, if there's any dispute over whether or not something was damaged, you have that video as proof. Having a video like that is also super helpful for my final point, which is renter's insurance. Just get it. It's good to have. It covers you if something's stolen, if your unit catches on fire, or like if your neighbor floods their unit and the ceiling falls in and ruins all your furniture. I don't know, stranger things have happened. In the event that you do have to make a claim with your insurance company, if you already have a video that shows what was in your apartment, then they know what was in there, you know what was in there, and it should be good if you have to make a claim. So I hope this video was helpful. I will link the checklist that I was talking about in the description box below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, follow us on social media, go check out our blog, arvabelle.com, and share this with a friend that's looking for an apartment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Oh, also, pro tip, when you're moving into your apartment, bring a roll of toilet paper because you'll need it. Bye.